Yesterday we spoke about the unique situation of eating, or actually doing the vidui before a person eats on erev Yom Kippur. We asked the question why. So we mentioned the idea of Sifrei Chaim and Sifrei Mesim Psuchim Lefanecha, the books of the living, the books of the non-living are open before us. That perhaps even a person would not make it till Yom Kippur, somehow by them doing a vidui and erev Yom Kippur would be beneficial for them, because Yom Kippur gives atonement even for those that are not living. What does it mean? It gives atonement for those that are not living. So the Mechaber writes, the Shulchan Aruch writes in Siman Taf Reish Chaf Aleph, Nagu lidor tzedakos ba'ad hamesim, that we have a minhag that we give tzedakah on behalf of those that are not alive, which we had spoken about this once before. What does it mean that we give tzedakah for those that are not alive? Seemingly the tzedakah that we're going to give is going to elevate those neshamas. Somehow it's going to help those neshamas, which means things in this world can help those that are not in this world. The Rama writes, so the Rama adds and makes it a little bit more explicit that we mention we do Yizkor on Yom Kippur because they have a kapara as well. They get atonement as well. So we see that even if a person's not alive, Yom Kippur can actually affect atonement. So the question is though, so what is the necessity to do this vidui at mincha time, which is basically we follow the halacha that on erev Yom Kippur, a lot of people will come to shul by Kol Nidre, but you should also come earlier when we have mincha. We're going to have mincha on Tuesday at 2:45 p.m. 2:45 is when we're going to have mincha. So at that mincha you could do vidui, and then you can have your suda, then you can have your milli suda mafsekes. So what is the necessity of actually doing a vidui ahead of time? Why do I actually need to do this confession before Yom Kippur actually begins? If Yom Kippur is going to work even for those that pass away, so then what's the necessity for it? So part of the answer that we just said was that although a person's not alive for Yom Kippur, but there is a level of atonement. So what do I gain then by doing a vidui? So says Rabbi Michal Shurkin here in the Sefer Harei Kedem, he says, if that is so, then technically I should do a vidui, I should do a confession every day. Every day I should do a confession. If I do a confession every day, that was Bruce's question, if I do a confession every day, so when Yom Kippur comes, I'll be okay. What is the necessity of confession on erev Yom Kippur? So he points out a famous concept that we are all familiar with, and that is, we have a mitzvah on erev Yom Kippur to do what? To eat. Why do we eat on erev Yom Kippur? So the Gemara learns, because of the fact that it tells us that you're technically fasting on the 9th and 10th, you're not going to fast the 9th and 10th, rather a person that eats on the 9th, it's as if they're fasting on the 10th. It's somehow the fulfillment of the 9th, of eating on the 9th, will actually take part as far as Yom Kippur goes. It counts as if you're fasting. That's how we always understand it. But he explains, the simple understanding of what that means is that there are 2 days of atonement available. There's a day of Yom Kippur itself where we're fasting, and there's a day of the 9th of Tishrei, which is erev Yom Kippur, and there are laws of kapara associated with it as well. So therefore, anyone who eats or drinks on the eve of Yom Kippur, it's as if he's fasting on both the 9th and 10th. What does that mean practically? The eve of Yom Kippur is actually connected to Yom Kippur itself. And therefore, if a person does vidui on erev Yom Kippur, that's on the 9th, on Tuesday afternoon, if you do vidui, you're actually in partial fulfillment of Yom Kippur itself. So therefore, if a person actually does the vidui in Yom Kippur, and we said the Rambam, the concern is the person's going to do the vidui, and then what do we have him do? We have him eat after, just in case he actually chokes and doesn't make it till Yom Kippur. That's okay, because he actually did a partial Yom Kippur. By the fact that he did a vidui on the 9th, we consider it as if that is considered a part of Yom Kippur itself. So that's a unique understanding that we have over here, that erev Yom Kippur has an important aspect of atonement as well. So that's part one. Next thing I just want to mention is some of the laws associated with Yom Kippur. And we'll just briefly go through some of them. So we do not anoint. We have no anointing that we do on Yom Kippur, which means we don't usually use oils, but that would mean that perfumes and colognes are not used on Yom Kippur. We also don't use deodorant on Yom Kippur either. So make sure you get that one that lasts 24, 48 hours and you put on the eve of Yom Kippur before the fast starts. But those are 2 aspects of anointing that we avoid on Yom Kippur itself. So both those, meaning cologne, no one should be in shul smelling somebody else's cologne on Yom Kippur. That should be avoided. If someone came in with it, there's not much you can do. They obviously don't know, but one should not be putting on cologne or perfume on Yom Kippur, nor should one be putting on deodorant on Yom Kippur itself. We usually avoid that as well, and we put that on earlier on for that. So keep that in mind. Leather shoes. As we mentioned before, leather is something that's specific to shoes. You can wear a leather yarmulke, you can wear a leather belt, you can wear a leather jacket, but leather shoes are things that we don't wear. One of the aspects of leather shoes is because leather represents animal, and at a time of Yom Kippur and Tisha B'Av, we want to show that we are humbling ourselves, and usually we show that we're above animal, we're greater than animal because we step on the shoes. The shoes help us walk, so we're showing that we're greater than them. Therefore, by not wearing leather shoes, it's a level of humility. Also similar, Ad Mas Kodesh, the way Moshe Rabbeinu took off his shoes in the area by the sneh, by the burning bush. So when we take off our shoes, it's not necessarily because the shul itself is holy, but because the entire essence of the day itself is holy. But again, it's leather shoes. It's not all types of shoes. So leather shoes relate to the animalistic side of man. Therefore, we don't wear leather shoes. If there's a little bit of leather on it, we say the Nike swoosh, but everything else is considered non-leather, then that would be okay for a person to wear. If you have leather uppers, that's also a problem of leather. If you have payless shoes, Allah Hashalom, those are usually fake, and therefore you would be able to wear those as well. So those are two aspects of the 5 inuim, of the 5 prohibitions that we have on Yom Kippur. Those are 2 out of the 5.